Hello everybody and welcome back to another video here. The Canadians lose a tough one against the Detroit Red Wings at home here. They lose 4-0. A tough game. Just, a really just, like as you'll see in the title here, just a missed opportunity for the Canadians to, take themselves into a first place position in the Atlantic. And instead they fall all the way back to third place in the Atlantic. So, again, like every time we talk about, like, for the past couple months, it feels like like every single point matters. There's so everybody is very, very tight in the Atlantic Division. Teams behind us are only getting better. Like the Buffalo Sabres are still 9-1-0 in their last 10 here. Boston had a really good game. They won 10-2 over the Rangers today. Toronto's winning games as well. So everybody, behind us is continuing to be really competitive and play good hockey. And we are, we need to continue to be like what we were, against the Panthers and against, Carolina and, all of those games where we played well in the past, week or so. Especially against a team that's, in this top three battle in the Atlantic Division. It's tough to lose that one. But yeah, it's just like, the Red Wings played a really solid game, especially John Gibson, obviously getting the shutout there. We outshot the Red Wings in that one. The Red Wings definitely got some bounces that went their way that we didn't. Definitely that first goal that was scored there was definitely a lucky bounce in their favor. They get a goal that kind of goes off the stanchion and, ends up in the back of our net. So that's an unfortunate one, but just a lot of chances that, they were opportunistic and they were able to convert on those chances that they got on the power play and what have you. And the Canadians had a ton of chances, a ton of really great opportunities, to battle back and score some goals, and they just weren't able to find the back of the net there. Especially like pretty much right at the beginning of the game, Demidov and Kapanen had a really great chance there that was saved away by Gibson on a nice 2-on-1 opportunity, a couple of shots over the net, all that kind of stuff. So just a bunch of missed opportunities to not only to come back and score a couple of goals in this game, but also to put ourselves in a better position in the standings. So we walk away with nothing on that one. And yeah, nothing changes really going forward. It's still, we got to win games here. As I said before, nobody in the Atlantic Division is slowing down even remotely at the moment. So, we have to do everything we can to stay competitive and stay in our, playoff position. We can't let any game that we lose at any point in the season be, a reason why we fall back a little bit and start losing. But it's just a really solid team, and the Red Wings there, it's no real shame to lose a game against them. You just love to be able to be a little bit more competitive there. Obviously, we were definitely competitive throughout the game. It's just none of our opportunities were capitalized on. Obviously, we didn't score any goals, so just a lot of missed opportunities and not able to capitalize on all the chances that we had. I thought we had some good performances. I thought Arbor Jacki played a really good game. It was good to see Caden Gooley back on the ice, although he didn't really contribute too much. I didn't really see too much out of him in this game, but either way, it was good to see him out there. I thought Noah Dobson had a really solid performance as well. So there was some solid stuff going on there. Obviously, it's good to, as I said, good to see Gooley back, and it's good for him to kind of get a game under his belt after a long period of being out. The last time Gooley was playing was back in the beginning of the season. The first time we played the Red Wings this season. So yeah, it some solid performances, but just nothing was really getting into the goalie. We were out shooting, but we just couldn't really capitalize off of our chances. A lot of good chances went away because of miscues and all that stuff, failure to shoot the puck and all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty much all I have for this one. It wasn't a very exciting game. The Canadians just couldn't really get things going here, and unfortunately that's kind of been a theme every once in a while for them. They either have really hot games where they're scoring, firing on all cylinders, and they also have games like this where they just can't get anything going, and then we end up getting blanked by a solid opponent there. So that's pretty much all I've got. We're looking forward for the next game on Monday. We are playing the Vancouver Canucks, who are certainly a team that the Canadians want to take advantage of here, sitting all the way at the bottom of the Western Conference, one of the worst teams in the NHL right now. They just lost 4-0 as well against the Toronto Maple Leafs today. So That's definitely a game, at home we want to be able to take advantage of and get 2 points back going our way. But like we'll have to see what happens. But we definitely need to, I've said this after a lot of our losses this season. We need to make sure that our losses don't become a pattern. We don't dwell on them too much and let habits be formed where we're not being able to score goals. We're getting like a monkey on our back a little bit. So hopefully on Monday it'll be a good opportunity for the Canadiens to kind of shake that off a little bit, shake off this loss, get back to winning games, and hope that the Red Wings and the Lightning and those kind of teams start losing some more games as well. But that's just like we can't really hope on stuff like that. Obviously, those teams are ahead of us in the standings right now for a reason. They're both very, very solid teams, as we've seen from playing both of them recently. We need to do our part in winning our games and getting our points on the standings. So like that's I think that's the biggest message there, is just continue to get back to what we were doing in our first 2 home games, where we're scoring goals at will and playing a very solid 60-minute performance like the ones at this homestand so far. Try to kind of get back to that, especially when we're playing a team who's kind of down on their luck a little bit. They're a little bit frustrated. We got to be able to take advantage of those kinds of teams. So that's pretty much all I have for this one. So yeah, that's it's just like there's not much to say. It's just the Canadiens just couldn't find anything. They couldn't get anything going in this one. We got goalied a little bit, and it's just an opportunity wasted, unfortunately. We got to find a way to get those points, especially when those points come against other Atlantic Division opponents who are looking to take our spot in the standings. They got the better of us in this one, so we got to find a way to get points on the leaderboards a little bit, and the next time we face the Red Wings, you got to find a way to get some revenge in the same way that we did when we played the Stars the second time around. Find a way to get back at them. So we'll see what happens there in the next time we play those teams. Looking forward to our next game against Tampa Bay Lightning as well. But yeah, like we got to find a way to get back on the board and get back to our winning ways here. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this one. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you after a big 2 wins, 2 points hopefully, against the Vancouver Canucks on Monday night.